wandering around with my lots of stuff. Nice sign. Nice sign.
Thank you, ma'am.
Looks like a protest. Yeah, well, apparently they don't, they're discriminating against. So, okay, 99. Can we walk over here? Because, I think it would be good if I asked people separately what happened.
All right.
It'll be interesting. Hear different perspectives.
You want to ask me last?
I want to ask you first.
All right.
What happened? Well, just police activity. Give us a play-by-play.
How far back?
This morning.
Like 5?
Actually, let's begin with, just so we're clear, with that you were arrested and
yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes, I was arrested yesterday, around the same time this morning. It had to do with me not wanting to move my possessions. My possessions have sat. If you guys watch Vigil TV, my possessions sat by the tree, a red bag, duffel bag, and that's where my possessions sat. And I didn't want to move them because they were in the sit-lie zone, out of the pedestrian right-of-way zone.
Okay, and just for clarification, sit-lie law was overturned, and so the sit-lie law is not applicable. But you were outside of the pedestrian use zone, which is this area.
Yes.
And previously they came and they put the sign up with a single arrow back and forth.
Right,
in this area.
In this space right here, yeah.
In response to us being here.
It being here after a certain time.
And
even
then
all day.
And then now they have tried to apply it to the entire sidewalk, saying that this is all for pedestrian use, even though obviously those mailboxes are not pedestrians.
Right.
So they're doing this in response to us and
right.
applying it to us only. So they now are harassing you. They took you to jail.
Yes.
And have you had a chance to talk on Ustream to anyone about this?
No.
Okay.
It's been we haven't been up for a week now, and this has been going on for a week. So I was arrested last week, also
Thursday.
For the same thing. Yes, for the same exact thing, not wanting to move my belongings, and
we had some technical difficulties. But when we were ready to go back on, they stole his camera. So
right, they done took our equipment, and then when upon entering the jail to be booked, the officer said, "See, I told you," and he was referring to me, that, you know, I'll be bringing this guy in.
Ah. Okay, so when you were released from jail, an hour and a half?
2 hours.
2 hours? What happened with your possessions?
The possessions, their SOP is, so when they go in your pockets and then they take your identification, they take all your information off the identification if you don't want to answer their questions. So then they put your ID, they will place your ID back in your pocket, or it enters the jail with you, your ID do. But this time, my ID didn't enter the jail with me. And so when I got released, I came back over here without my possessions. I'd already knew the duffel bag was gone. I had the camera phone, I had the hi-fi watch, the Wi-Fi hotspot, my ID card. I had some miscellaneous papers on me. I had pouches of tobacco. So nothing illegal, nothing that they could confiscate and deem as illegal.
Now this stuff was in your pockets. They removed it out of your pockets.
Removed it out of my pocket.
Did they bag it?
Yeah, they were putting it in bags, like they were putting it in evidence bags. But this is what they do. They were doing what is supposed to be done at booking.
And when they did that, did they tell you that it was at an evidence locker?
No, they did not tell me nothing.
What happened when you left the jail, when you asked for your possessions?
They told me that the only thing that I entered with was I got some things here. Okay, so they let you leave with a bag like this, and it's in fact it's even a bigger bag. So this was a shock to me when I just got this little bag. And so all my buttons that you guys see me wear.
Are you saying that they put it in a different bag and then you got the smaller one back?
Yeah, because there was. I'm gonna show you what I had in my pocket. Okay, I had my belt, my shoestrings, my shoelaces was in this bag, and there's another little plastic bag that they had. Oh well, it had three. It had three items in it. It had a pen. It had a miniature leg to this oven that we heat our coffee up with, and
the burner.
Yeah, the burner.
Okay.
It had a burner leg on it.
So that isn't the bag. You got a different bag back. It was smaller.
Yeah, this is smaller.
So they have taken our camera, which had 25 minutes of footage of what?
Of the officer coming in harassing us. The officer taking the signs, telling us that this is no longer a sit and lie zone, that this is a pedestrian right-of-way zone, like the whole sidewalk. Not only is the 8 feet pedestrian right-of-way, but the 6 feet also is included.
But that was previously in this zone here, in the loading zone. They have said that this is now pedestrian movement only.
Right.
But now they are saying outside, the whole block.
Yeah, the whole block. Right where I was at. So I refused to move. And I knew that they were making it up as they went, so I refused to move. And, there was nothing that there was no paper, there was no warning. The mayor did not send nobody outside. That's what they usually do. They usually send papers out 2 days in advance that this is what's going on. So there was none of that. It was just this officer that I've encountered with day after day.
The Palmenter.
Yeah, Palmenter, and citing that. And then he brought 4 or 5 other officers with him, and they were the ones citing that this is pedestrian, and he was reading off the sign, so he was misreading the sign. So I took the camera and I went along. What sign was he referring to as a pedestrian right of way? It had the code on it. And then when I came to the sign, I only came to the one sign, and I specifically let everybody know this was the sign that he was referring to, and that this sign was on the pole opposite at the other end, and that both signs, both arrows were pointing toward each other. So they were talking about this middle space, but I let him know that this is what the signs were saying, and he says, well, no. Then that sign down there's another sign at the end of the block that says that whole wing up there, okay? And he wanted to say that it not only meant the whole wing, but it meant this little space too.
Yeah, and in response to that, apparently they have drawn with a felt tip marker the arrow which they had previously blocked out. Have we seen them do that?
I'm gonna say
this is like,
I think the one officer did do that. The one officer I was talking to.
Okay, so that's how they make up the law. All right. The other thing is that the sidewalk for pedestrian movement only, referring to this code. I had a sign underneath in protest of this sign because that sign is inaccurate, and they've taken that before.
Right.
They've taken that sign down. We have over here at the Vigil a sign that also specifies that we are outside that pedestrian use zone, and we periodically put this up. Can you fly that little one hanging off of the grate in the back, on the back of the grate? Keep going. Right there. Right here. This thing you can leave it. You can leave it. Sidewalk use restricts use in pedestrian use zones. We are outside the curb, outside the zone. Curb to 8-foot ADA clearance area. So we've been telling them over and over, and they have been changing the rules as they go. So they changed the rules again, told 99 on the fly, and couldn't really explain themselves. But there's another coincidence here, which is that 99 and I were featured in the Oregonian community section for downtown Portland for Vigil TV, which is what they took from him. Sunday's Oregonian had it as well. So imagine this. The Sunday paper comes out, and here we are. Flip it up. There's our Vigil. There's me. Flip it up. The other side. Right here. Yeah. There's 99 with the camera that they stole. We don't have that anymore. We also don't have the hotspot. What I'm using right now is not a reliable hotspot. But even if it were, it doesn't really do any good if when I leave, 99 has no camera. Well, that's not going to really defeat us because we do have, hopefully, live streamers coming down or paying attention. But 99 cannot tweet that police are going to be here. So we really need our occupeeps here, people who have video recording equipment. 99 could also benefit from any kind of video recording equipment. It doesn't have to be a fancy Android for him to get online, because he can't get online anyway. Right now, we would settle for just any kind of video recording equipment. So if you have an old camera or anything.
Or some real solid legal advice.
Well, we're going to hopefully be hearing from a lawyer. We're putting the feelers out. So
now what they're going to do is they're going to proceed with the case. They didn't no complaint at this time, so they're going to proceed with the case. Now, I fit the description of, for lack of a better description, or
are you going to profile yourself?
Yeah, for lack of a, so this, if this sounds harsh, then this is reality. Reality is harsh, but you know what? You just gotta keep trudging through it.
Okay.
So
hit us with the real.
I fit the description of a homeless person. So there's this pilot program that's been in effect for about 4 months.
Only in Portland.
It's supposed to benefit me. I benefit from this program. I don't have to have the fear of going into a big old courtroom with a mean-looking judge scowling at me, pointing at "you're guilty." So this courtroom is considered community court. It's a lot less hostile, and it's down in one of the shelters where I'm supposedly used to being. So I should be comfortable down there when I enter the atmosphere, and I should willingly be wanting to plead guilty because it offers no jail time or no fine. But what it does offer is community service, cleaning up stuff. I'm not opposed to work. I love work. Gives me something to do, people to meet. Okay? Now, because I fit this description, I'm totally against that. Why can't I be afforded the same opportunities or disopportunities as people with homes, people with addresses? So I don't have an address. I go to TPI.
And they're assuming.
Right.
They did not check that out.
Right. Well, I told them. I told them this. And then so if because when the officer comes in and talks to the person, open container, getting caught in the bushes, doing your thing, or jaywalking, he will put down their address. He puts homeless. He never once asked me for an address. But because he encountered me consistently from day to day outside City Hall, he put homeless down. That put me into this category that sent me down to community court, which is at a homeless shelter.
Okay, so here's the thing. We objected to this, of course, and a lot of people object to this because what they're doing is They're making a work program, like your sign says, on vigiltv.com. You'll see a sign that this is a work program for the poor, that this is a way to make laws unjust and target people. So we've explained that numerous times, but the point is that today, when you have your arraignment, you're going to tell them that you want to go to regular court.
Yeah, that I want a regular court, I want a regular judge, I want a regular trial. I want a trial of my peers. I know I won't get that, but, you know, I still should be afforded a trial in a regular courtroom.
Right, you're not going to community court. Meanwhile, we have to talk to a lawyer about your harassment and about the harassment of our protests. And this in particular, I'm very concerned about the fact that they are stealing our signs. They have made fun of us for not having enough signs. Then they steal our signs and they tell us we're not a protest. Then they act like, I mean, first of all, even if it were true that a bunch of people who were houseless came and laid down on the steps of City Hall and made a mess and said we have a right to be here in safety. That is a protest. I'm sorry you guys don't like the way people look, but they're coming in for refuge. So even when we have nesters and it drives us crazy because it makes it look bad and we have difficulty, the fact that there are refugees coming in to try to find a safe place in town, and all we've made is a sidewalk where police are less brutal, says something. So, but we were protesting. We were clearly protesting. I had a sign that I've had out here all the time. We've gone through this numerous times.
They took the rest of our signs yesterday. So now what we're going to do is I talk like I have a mouse in my pocket. I'm going to make more signs.
We are going to make more signs. You guys, we need some signs. So, yeah, there's no, they just tore up lightning signs, and we saw that. My video was pretty poor quality, but I saw them tearing up the signs.
I saw them ripping up the signs also. And then so now what you guys see him doing over there now, they said something to him that put him in a different protest now. He is actually lying down. So he's challenging the cops. He's not tired. I've seen him up walking around this time of hour. So this time it looks like he is actually challenging the pigs. Good job, Lightning! Solidarity, man! Good job!
Yeah, he's gonna turn it on now.
Not camping.
Right.
I may have been laying down. As soon as I walked up, as soon as I got up, I grabbed the one thing that was underneath me.
Yeah, well, you know, we're protesting. We're working here. We're not camping. Camping is defined as for a temporary place to live. We are not living, we're working.
We're not trying to live here.
If you don't know this, you should read the Oregonian article. If you look up, the easiest way I found to find it is OregonLive.com Mary Nichols Activist, because they put my name, Nichols, and if you look that up, you will see the article with 99. Or better yet, just go to our Twitter. There's a few Twitters. 99's got one, I got one. They're all on vigiltv.com. So anyway, I am about to upload, but I am trying to get somebody down here. We really need somebody down here who has live stream documentation ability. We love you guys, but you know, we're able to file a lawsuit here, and it would really help to not be stuck without the documentation ability, which is what the cops are trying to do. So, okay. We actually lost a lot of ability to document when we lost the live stream. But you had a 25-minute video.
Yeah, I even got the officer, because me and the officer was in this conversation about lumping people into one sum. So I called the officer. I said, your uniform signifies that you're in a good old boys club, that you were here taking our signs. And he says he did this. It didn't go word for word like this, but it went similar. He says, I wasn't there. I said, your uniform says that you were there. And then he says, he goes in and says something like, well, when I'm out here making arrests, he says, I don't do this to you guys. And then in turn, I come back with you guys. Are you meaning you guys? You talking about me as in black people, you guys? And so then he starts to stutter. He says, no. And then I go and says, okay, bullshit, because a couple of weeks ago, I was approached by 2 officers. If you guys remember, I told you guys this story where the officers jumped out of their car and they said, I fit the description, and they had a picture of the guy that they were looking for on their dashboard as they're talking to me, telling me I look like somebody that was selling drugs to this person, and in her description she slipped and said, we have a picture of the guy on our dashboards, so can you tell us your name? And I was like, well, no, I'm not going to tell you my name, because you're going to go do your job. You're going to get in your damn car, you're going to look at that picture, and then you're going to see, do I look like the picture on your dashboard? And if I don't, then you're going to get the fuck out of my face. And they said, then so this other guy jumps out. This guy jumps out and said, then why are you giving her a hard time? I says, because, dude, were you looking at the same picture she was looking at? Because if I don't look like that picture, then you're harassing me. And the picture happened to be of a colored man with dreadlocks.
Okay. Well, there's only a couple in the city.
No, see, so
actually, in Portland, most of the people with dreadlocks are white.
So
I will have to say.
I told Duke the same thing. I said, I'm not giving her a hard time. You guys are giving me a hard time.
Right.
Okay? And so I was just merely bringing this up to the officer that it does happen. Okay? Person gets lumped into a group of people. And
so when he was saying you guys, and you got him stuttering about this whole incident, did he still say you guys, as in you guys protesters, you guys homeless people, you guys what? Or he just dropped it?
Yeah, he dropped it. He stuttered and tried to figure out the words. He tried to figure out what words he was going to